Welcome to the Deep Wealth Podcast, where you learn how to extract your business and personal deep wealth. I'm your host, Jeffrey Feldberg. This podcast is brought to you by Deep Wealth and the 90-Day Deep Wealth Experience. When it comes to your business deep wealth, your exit or liquidity event is the most important financial decision of your life. But unfortunately, up to 90% of liquidity events fail. Think about all that time and your hard-earned money wasted. Of the quote-unquote successful liquidity events, most business owners leave 50% to over 100% of the deal value in the buyer's pocket and don't even know it. I should know. I said no to a seven-figure offer and yes to mastering the art and the science of a liquidity event. 2 years later, I said yes to a different buyer with a 9-figure deal. Are you thinking about an exit or liquidity event? Don't become a statistic and make the fatal mistake of believing the skills that built your business are the same ones to sell it. After all, how can you master something you've never done before? Let the 90-Day Deep Wealth Experience and the 9-step roadmap of preparation help you capture the best deal instead of any deal. At the end of this episode, take a moment and hear from business owners like you who went through the Deep Wealth Experience. Before anything else, Valentin Radu is a persistent experimenter. Nowadays, he is a CVO Evangelist, defining a new category helping retailers grow: customer value optimization. Valentin leverages his industry expertise at OmniConvert, his SaaS company that provides growth solutions to mid-size e-commerce websites looking to become customer-centric. Reveal, their newest product, helps e-commerce companies find hidden gems in their data, improve customer lifetime value, and customer retention while delivering personalized customer experience across all channels. Welcome to the Deep Wealth Podcast, and for all you listeners out there, I have a question. I know you want to grow your business, you want to grow your profits, even create a market disruption. But let me ask you this, while you're chasing after new customers, do you know the lifetime value of your existing customers? Are you moving the dial with your existing customers, or are you throwing money literally out the window, going after perhaps new profits, new wealth, and really ignoring the resources in front of you? We're going to answer that and more in today's podcast. I'm going to put a stop in it right there. Valentin, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us. And there's a saying, Valentin, there's always a story behind the story. What's your story? What got you from where you were to where you are today?
Hi there, Jeffrey, and hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here with you. So the story is that suffering is the best teacher. So mainly I was struggling with my own company. I'm from Bucharest, Romania. I still am here, an ex-poor kid from there. I've built 4 companies, and thanks to what I found along this road, I've started to help entrepreneurs and companies, and I've discovered the power of customer lifetime value. And from there onwards, I've built a company around it, software and a framework around it, an academy around it. And of course, I wrote a book which is recently launched. That's my story in short.
And speaking of your book, The CLV Revolution, Transform Your E-Commerce with Customer Value Optimization, that will be in our show notes. So for all our listeners, it's a point and click. It doesn't get any easier. So Valentin, let's talk about your book. You make a bold statement right out of the gates. Chapter number 1, you call it your path, or rather the path you're following is incomplete. So in other words, it's a polite way of saying, hey, Jeffrey, and all you other founders, business owners, entrepreneurs out there, you're probably getting it wrong. So what are we getting wrong, Valentin? What's going on with this?
Yeah, so I think the most important aspect from chapter 1 and this statement is revolving around the fact that we are making decisions as entrepreneurs without backing up with data. So usually the entrepreneurs are finding a new way, they are putting out a new product in the market, they come up with a lot of ideas, and we don't have this habit of rethinking or staying too much into doubt because we are action-oriented. However, according to data, only 6% of the decisions that the company leaders are making are data-driven, which is a disturbing thought if you think about it. So 6 out of 100 decisions are data-driven, but how about the other ones? So mainly the path that we are all following is incomplete because we don't know what to do in order to grow our company. And we are neglecting the most important thing, which is the customer. As it's stated by Peter Drucker, half of the companies don't know what they are selling.
Wow, there's a lot in there, Valentin, to unpack. Listen, I thought we had some bad stats where up to 90% of liquidity events fail. Your stats even worse. You're saying out of 100 entrepreneurs, 94 of them are just missing the boat. They're completely looking in the wrong area. So why don't we start with that? If we now are saying, okay, Valentin said this and I've read the book and I now know what to do, where do I start to look? What am I doing?
Yeah, I'm always starting with customer research. When we are selling something, we are selling a promise of a better future to strangers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's our mission. And we want to change their behaviors because the products or the services that we are providing to the world are, we think that they are amazing. What I'm doing and what this whole process all about is we start with the unit economics. So we look at our business and we understand how we are making money and who are our best customers, the most profitable ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing is that most of the companies rely on a model which is purely financial. So we look at the P&Ls, we look at the cash flow and the balance sheet, but we are not looking at, hey, those customers, this cohort of customers is responsible for 60% of our margin, but they make up only 12% of our customers. What's going on with them? Why do they buy from us? What do they buy from us? What's the narrative in their heads about what we are selling to them? And that's where customer research comes into place. And basically, the first step is understanding what they are buying. What is the struggle that they are after? Because when you sell a product, you're not selling that product, you're selling a better future. So there is a desired outcome to anyone which is buying a product or a service. And the beauty of it, Jeffrey, is that there is also a struggle. Because what I've learned in these 23 years of entrepreneurship, I found that most of the decisions around buying something are because of a pain, because of a struggle, because of a struggling moment and a context where this is happening. So the first step on this path is sort out your unique economics. Understand that it's not about that profit doesn't happen out of the blue, but are emotions and irrational decisions made by strangers that are looking to make progress in their lives with the products that you're selling.
Wow. Once again, Valentin, so much to unpack there. And I absolutely agree. For me and the Deep Wealth community, the very reason that we exist as business owners or founders or entrepreneurs, we're finding these very painful problems. And we solve the problem so well that people are only too happy to give us money to take their pain away. But let me ask you this, because all too often as business owners, we think we're solving the problem, but we're really not. There's a much bigger problem. And in fact, we call that step one big picture in our 9-step roadmap. Some people call them blind spots. We call them inflection points. And Valentin, to your point, if we don't discover an inflection point, but our competitors do, they can put us out of business. But if we do discover an inflection point, we do something right about it, we know how to solve it, we're world class, we can put ourselves out of business to go into a bigger and more profitable business. But I would love your take on where do we begin to look to make sure that, hey, not only am I solving the right problem, but this is really the problem of problems that I should continue focusing on, or hey, the marketplace has changed. It isn't what it used to be last year or 5 years ago. There's more problems out there I need to focus my attention on. So what does that look like?
Yeah, so this process is based on customer segmentation. At least if you are not, I don't know, Walmart to address everyone out there in the US, then you have a smaller company, you have a mid-sized company. You need to pick your battles. And it all starts with customer segmentation. In e-commerce, I'm using this framework called RFM, recency, frequency, and monetary value, because not all the customers are not the same. So there are incredibly good customers and not so good customers, to say the least. With the RFM, we look at the customers that bought most recently, most frequently, and they have the highest monetary value. Once we cluster them, we look at their share of margin and share of revenue and how many they are out of the total customer. So there is an instant aha moment when we realize that there is a huge discrepancy about how many they are and how much they generate in terms of margin for any business. And after that, we interview them. We find what words they are using to explain what they found in our product, how they are using the product to make progress in their lives. So this type of customer research is being made with the methodology called jobs to be done. Mainly the methodology is like this. A, you find your best performing customers, which are not that many. B, you do in-depth customer interviews, and it's based on an interrogation method used by an FBI interviewer. where you are spending 90 minutes with them in depth so that you can unveil the psychological reasons that they had and the words that they are using. Once you do this, you will end up finding out that you sell the same product, but they have 3 or 4 jobs. There are 3, 4 jobs. So you do this with 9, 10, 12 people, 12 individuals, but you don't have statistical significance. And that's why you do the quantitative research afterwards. You go out there and you survey your entire customer base and you understand job one. And to give you an example, Jeffrey, for instance, when you are buying a sofa, you're not buying the sofa. You're buying a place for the family to stay together. You are buying a status symbol when you are inviting your friends to show that you have a nice home and you are valued for that. So it's like a status game for you, that the same sofa. Or you are buying a thing in order to relax and to get more slack about it. I mean, you're not really there to sleep, but you want to relax and to get lazy watching a video or something. So these 3 jobs to be done are made by the same product. There is a sofa out there. So when you do this type of research, you find out on all the customers that bought this kind of sofa, why they've bought it, because of job number 1, job number 2, job number 3. And then you look at your best customers that bought something else after that sofa as well. And you found out that, hey, job number 1 is responsible for maybe 65% of my total revenue. And that's when you shift your messaging. You are in a position to come up with a statistically validated way of changing the messages, changing the positioning, changing maybe the targeting as well based on that.
Okay, once again, so much that you're sharing, a lot of value there. Valentin, we are on the same page at Deep Wealth. We use different words, but it's the same thing. And what we often say is tune into WII.FM, the world's favorite radio station, otherwise known as What's In It For Me, and Step 3, Future Buyer. Whether it's a prospective customer or even an investor or future buyer for the company, we're always tuning in and asking ourselves, okay, from the lens of this buyer, this prospective customer, what does it look like? What am I doing? Now, let me ask you this. You said, okay, you're going to interrogate them, which sounds kind of scary. And you're saying, oh yeah, we use these kinds of questions that are from the intelligence fields. So what's going on with that? When you say interrogate, what kinds of questions are we really asking and how do we make them feel comfortable?
Yeah, so it all starts with the questions that are around the context that they were in when they've made the decision to buy. So basically, you've bought this sofa or you bought these vitamins or you've bought this, I don't know, service or training or course or whatever that was. Tell us where, if you can remember, if you go down the memory lane, where you've been when you've made the decision to buy this product. And they start to remember this, that, or the other. And then you start out asking about the timeline. Have you decided on the spot or you've got this idea of buying this product before going on our website or ordering by phone or whatever, how they've made the decision to buy it. And then we go down the memory lane and we understand the context that they were in. And by the context, we mean, have you made this decision on your own or have you consulted with someone else? So that we understand who's influencing the buying decision. Because I don't know, if you're buying cosmetics, it's not like you're asking your entire family, but if you're buying a new sofa, maybe your wife has a say in it. So you understand how this decision was being made, because at the end of the day, what we are after is to understand the context that they were in when they've made the buying decision and how that decision came to reality. Because there are these 2 phases. You are passively looking for a solution to a struggle, and then you actively look for a solution. And let me give you a very simple example. My phone's battery is going off at 4 p.m., maximum 5 p.m. And my kids claim that I don't care about them because they can't reach me when they finish their school earlier so that I can pick them up. So my struggle is that I'm a bad father if I continue using this freaking iPhone 12. So the struggle behind the change of this phone, so the buying decision, the seeds have been placed like 3 weeks ago when they made this statement. And now I have it in my brain. And when the opportunity steps in, like it's Black Friday and they have these offers for iPhone 15 or whatever, Android phones, I will buy it. but basically the struggling moment has came before. So if I would be a phone maker and I would be having a battery that lasts me for 3-4 days, I can make this bold statement like, tired of not being reachable to your dear ones due to your old phone, we have this solution, whatever. So if that's the job to be done, and the product that you're selling is helping your customers make progress because of that, that's going to be a very impactful statement. So that's how you do this kind of research, understanding the struggling moment, understanding the passive looking, the active looking, and the context that you are in. Because when you are doing marketing, you're not doing marketing for people which are already on your website. You are planting this kind of seeds into their brain for the moment when they were in and when the struggle occurred.
So a lot going on there, but these are strategies from the trenches. And for our listeners, again, what we're talking about, to try and cover this in one episode, very challenging. Go to the show notes, click on the link. You can get the book and go chapter by chapter, what's going on. And actually, Valentin, it looks like you're talking about chapter 7, the customer journey mapping. Let me ask you this. And I know now I'm speaking as a customer, I get so many emails or at the end of the phone call, all these surveys, it actually takes away from the experience. It's too much, it's overload. So what's the right balance? How do we get this feedback that can really make a difference for us in a way that actually our customers will welcome it as opposed to run the other way as fast as they can?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jeffrey. And indeed, the opportunity that we have post-purchase, so once someone bought from us, they are not looking, hey, let's buy again from this brand. They are looking to use or consume the product that we've just sold them, which means there is a huge opportunity over there to help them make progress. Thanks to that research that you maybe finished and you've got the outcomes out of it, you understand that they have some questions into their heads like, will this work for me? How does it use? How can I prevent breaking it? Whatever you are selling. So they have this type of questions around how to make progress with this new product that they've bought. If it's a new product, if it's something that they buy over and over again, it's pretty simple, right? So if you're buying a shampoo or whatever, it's pretty straightforward. And it's all about making them aware about the fact that they will make progress with your product. And that's how to use it. I don't know, use it 2 times, wash your head two times a week or whatever. So these kind of instructions, if they are first-time buyers of your product, help them make progress first and understand if they are making progress, that there are 3 moments into any customer journey that you want feedback from. A is the pre-delivery. So what kind of expectations do they have before actually getting the product? Because when you sell a product, you sell that promise of a future desired outcome, right? So you want to see how well you've met their expectations with the buying process, right? Like how easy was there to order, to select the product, whatever, and what kind of expectations do they have? The second moment is the post-delivery. So they've got the product into their heads. How was the total buying experience? And then is the post-usage or post-consumption. So for instance, if you are selling mattresses, it doesn't matter how was the buying process too much or how was the delivery itself. What it matters is, am I sleeping better 2-3 weeks after getting this new mattress? How should I use it? When will I see the results? Maybe I'm using a more soft mattress. When will I see that this is affecting my sleep better or not? So basically, at these 3 particular moments, you want to get feedback and you want to wrap the fact that you are getting feedback from them in a way that it makes them feel like you care about them. So basically, hey, we want to make sure that you're getting the best experience out of this product. What are the chances that you recommend this product to a relative? So NPS with an open-ended question is amazing because it allows them to say things, and that is gold for you. So in order to convince them that it's okay to give you feedback, you need to tell them what you're after. So because we want you, because you're the hero of our story, our customer, because we want you to be happy, tell us how was this experience? And after that, you use that and you fix what's broken. Because another important fact is that if someone is going to be a detractor, so they are unhappy about the packaging, the delivery time, the whatever, do something about it. Because otherwise you seem like a broken record. You ask for feedback and you don't do anything about it. I think it's better not to ask for it in the first place.
Valentin, with what you've been sharing, if a business owner could come out of this episode and do one action, there's a lot that we've spoken about, and we're still going to talk about more, but I want to put a pause on things for just a moment. What would you have them do? What would be some low-hanging fruit? Hey, Jeffrey, if you do this, it won't take much time, maybe not even a lot of money, if any, you're going to really move the dial in terms of getting results and finding out this information. What would that be for you?
Yeah, so if I would pick one, I would pick the know your customers one. Like, look at who are according to Pareto, if you don't want to get into complicated things like RFM segmentation and whatever, look out of your total margin and revenue, how many of your customers, which are those customers that generate most of the margin and revenue, and look what products do they buy. And that's such an easy thing to do. Once you look at what products or services they bought, you will be more aware, and you can go down into this journey of becoming customer-centric and being profitable, because lifetime value is the sure path to profitability.
Okay, so we're doing that and we're getting a sense of what's there. So now that we have that, how have you yourself used this? How have some of your clients really used this to really get the most out of it?
Yeah, the first thing that they can do is to understand how to do acquisition, because I think many companies out there are hypnotized about acquiring new customers without knowing how important is the creative and the message. So bit by bit, we are seeing that Facebook, Google Ads, whatever, these are becoming like a black box. You just put your money over there, you put your card details and your creatives and messages, and then the targeting, the bidding, everything is automated. So it's going to be AI driven, which means the component that you have is the offer and the creative. So those are the components that are in your control to tweak, and which that means knowing what your customers are after and how much you afford to pay according to what's their lifetime value of your best customers will allow you to be data driven in how you invest your budget. The harsh reality is that many companies out there, they are not even aware what's their lifetime value. And not knowing that, it's like shooting in the dark. How can you know how much can you afford to pay to acquire a new customer if you don't know how much profit you are going to make out of that customer? I mean, it's shooting in the dark.
And speaking of lifetime value and increasing profits from customers, in chapter 12 of your book, you're all about referral programs. And Valentin, I know when I'm out there and speaking to different business owners, referral programs, they're an afterthought in the best case, or just usually not even done. So what can you share with us of, number one, why is it worth our time and while to really get a referral program going, and how we can go about doing that?
Indeed, referral programs are too busy to acquire customers that never come back. So referral programs can work when you have a good product, of course, because no amount of marketing will fix a broken product. So you can't expect customers to refer business your way if you're not delivering on your promise. But once you do it, then you can craft this kind of mechanics. And they happen because customers have positive experience in the past, and B, they want to be getting either a future reward, either they want to get the good feedback from their friends or colleagues or neighbors that, hey, you need to buy this mattress from this company because they are very good. I mean, I'm really happy about it. So I'm doing a good deed to the ones I know. So these are the psychological triggers of the referral programs. In terms of how to craft them, there are many ways. I mean, I'm talking a lot about it in my book, but I think in today's environment where it's so expensive to acquire customers, I think any company which is selling good enough products should think about activating this type of referral programs.
Okay, so referral programs, and again, in the book, you go step by step what you need to do. Do you have a sense? So I'm putting you a little bit on the spot, and you could easily say, well, Jeffrey, it really depends on the company and what they're doing, the industry. But one referred customer, how much can that add, either in terms of a percentage of revenue increase or percentage of profits or even dollars? What would that look like?
Yeah. So there are companies out there which have been built thanks to the referral program. So for instance, Dropbox, if you remember,
Sure.
without their referral program, they wouldn't be here. So you don't need to wait to get mature in with your referral programs. So it can be up to 100% of your revenue initially when you launch it, because it's way too expensive to acquire customers with the traditional methods like performance marketing, PPC campaigns, whatever. In average, what we are seeing is that you can add up to 30%. So basically the best referral programs for established companies, they can add something like 30% in terms of the revenue. But if you think about the cost, then it's way more cost effective to activate a referral program, because you can control the math behind it. How much can I afford to pay for a new customer that comes from our existing customers rather than pay to Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever other channels, right? So I'm a big fan of mathematical modeling, right? So as an entrepreneur, you have some image about a future company, but you need the steps to get to that vision. And for that, you need to build scenarios that make sense from a data-driven perspective. And to be honest, it's not that hard. It's the first simple rule to do a lot of stuff in Excel and to build this type of scenarios, like how much can I afford to pay to a newly acquired customers with this channel, with that channel, with the other, through referrals. And once you build this type of hypotheses, these experiments, then you can validate that those experiments made sense. But without doing this type of changes, you can't expect for miracles to happen to your business.
So like anything else, what we put into it is what we're going to get out of it. Speaking of getting something out of it, there's a bold claim that you make. And that claim is, hey, we can help you turn a one-time buyer into a lifetime customer. So, Valentin, what's going on with that? I mean, it sounds wonderful. Most of us don't achieve that for, I suppose, a whole number of reasons. But why? What's happening, and how are you making a difference in that area?
Yeah. So we've built this methodology called customer value optimization methodology. It's an 11 steps methodology. And what I mean by that is that if you have the proper mindset and if you reach that maturity where you are testing out your initial acquisition based on the messaging that you found for your best customers, and that you are targeting your customers with the most compelling message, then if you do onboarding properly, if you do prevention properly, if you do referral and loyalty properly, and at the end of the day, you run this type of reactivation campaigns, you can get a lot out of it. So that's how you turn your one-time buyers into lifetime customers, by understanding how the ones that made it, despite all the obstacles that you put consciously or unconsciously in front of them, how they've become your lifetime customers. And then you simply replicate what matters on the entire customer journey, from the acquisition to the reactivation campaigns.
So really, it's a whole system that you've, over the years, you've put together, you've tested. What didn't work, you stopped doing. What did work, you did more of. Kept on adding to that to really take the experimentation out of it for us, just to have done the heavy lifting and make it a little bit easier. How am I doing with that?
So the adoption of such a framework comes again out of the struggle, right? So I've just said at the beginning, Jeffrey, that is the pain that's forcing us to change and to make progress. So unless you realize how much you are already losing, for instance, we are using this type of calculator to look, how are you in your industry, right? So how many of your customers, what's your customer retention rate? What's your customer lifetime value, your purchase frequency, whatever. And when you look at the fact that you've maybe lost a couple hundreds of thousands last year due to the fact that you haven't done anything. So you've invested zero into improving customer lifetime value and 100% into acquiring customers, and you've done nothing about the post-purchase journey. So in order to make progress, you need to feel the pain. You need to be aware about how much you've already lost and how much you're going to lose in the next year. And when you look at these kind of figures, and when you realize that your growth formula relies on the lifetime value, then you will change your behavior as an entrepreneur. If you don't do that, of course, you'll have the same linear results that are starting not to be that appealing anymore in this current economic context.
And you're doing a wonderful job of creating the pain in us as the founders and business owners of, hey, here's what the customer lifetime value is worth. Here's what you're missing out. Do something about it. Take some action and really make a difference. So Valentin, let me ask you this. As we begin to go into wrap-up mode, we're not quite there yet, but I'm wondering, is there a question that I haven't asked? Is there a topic that we haven't covered? Is there a message that you want to take out to the community?
Yeah, one important thing is that we have this methodology which is pretty simple. So there are 3 pillars of improving lifetime value. It's what you sell, which is the product, the merchandising, your products, your services. Then is what you say, which is the marketing. It's what you do, which is the whole customer experience that you're wrapping your products with. So these 3 pillars of the customer value optimization are what's important. Unfortunately, some of them are neglected. So that's why companies are struggling, because they don't provide undeniable value to the customers that are the most fit for them, their ideal customers. And I think it's time to understand how growth happens for these business models, because we are way ahead of the academic environment. I mean, the changes in the current context are so dynamic, they are so fast that we can't afford to wait for these changes. And the world is now, I mean, the marketing world at least is educated by Facebook and Google and whatever. They have these academies and so on. We've also built our own CVO Academy, and we have a free course they can take over there. So anyone can take it so that they can look on the post-purchase, not only on the acquisition. And if you think about it, the irony is that their education system for Google, Facebook, whatever, it's a customer value optimization strategy for them. Because if they train you into buying their products and be performant at the acquisition, you end up buying their products over and over again.
Yes, they know a thing or two about that, and we can certainly follow their lead. And actually, you really read my mind, because you do have this academy. You just mentioned it right now. So what's going on with that academy? When I show up, what am I learning? How long is it taking?
Yeah. So we have a free module of 2 hours. And basically, I teamed up with some heavy hitters in the space of acquisition, of email marketing, of customer experience, of ads as well, email marketing. I have 8 other great minds into this space, and we've built a program of 20 hours. It's a video content with assessments, with quizzes, so basically it's a whole thing that takes customers from A to Z. So basically, you will become an expert into CVO once you get through this program, and a certification program as well. And it's being usually used by agencies, marketers, and owners of companies that are there to understand how growth happens, not only by wasting money on ads, but on doing the entire customer journey properly.
Love that. So here you are. It's not just yourself, it's other subject matter experts. You've put this all together, and really in a relatively short period of time, we come out knowing what to do. We have all the plans, the insights, and what we like to call strategies from the trenches. How am I doing with that?
So once you have these strategies, it's very easy, because you know what to do. You're not in the dark anymore. We also have the tools to assist you. So if you are into e-commerce, or if you have an online business, we have these tools. We have OmniConvert, my company, which is 10 years old already. We have hundreds of customers from all over the world. Other companies to do A/B testing and optimize their website according to these principles, and to do this type of customer segmentation. So I have this book to teach people about the principles. We have the academy, and then we have the tools and the assistance for the companies which are out there and they are looking to grow in a healthy way, let's say.
Terrific. Something that really would be of value. And again, for listeners, go to the show notes. It's a point and click. You can take a look. Valentin, you said part of this you're giving away for free. They can try it before they like it to see how that goes, and then move out from there. So give that a try, and let's see where that can take you. So Valentin, let me ask you this. And, every episode I say the same thing, but it really is the truth. I have the privilege, I have the honor of carrying on a tradition here in the Deep Wealth podcast where I get to ask this wrap-up question. It's a fun one, Valentin. Let me set this up for you. When you think of the movie Back to the Future, you have that magical DeLorean car that will take you to any point in time. So now imagine it's tomorrow morning, you look outside your window, and Valentin, here's where the fun part begins. The DeLorean car, not only is it sitting there, but the door is open, it's waiting for you to hop on in, which you do, and you're now going to go back to any point in your life. Valentin, as a young child, a teenager, whatever point in time that would be, what would you tell your younger self in terms of life lessons or life wisdom, or hey, Valentin, do this, but don't do that? What would that sound like?
Yeah, I've made this exercise in my mind while you were speaking, Jeffrey, and it's an exciting exercise. I think I've been the most worried and, let's say, affected and fragile when I was a teenager.
Okay.
Now I'm raising some teenagers and I'm seeing this, I'm reflecting myself into them. And what I would say is that you just need to go further. You just need to keep walking because light is there. So you have the light in you and you will make it. I think I lacked this faith in my own forces. So I've said these stupid things to myself for years in a row. So I was like 26 years old when I stopped playing this game on me, when I was talking down to me. So that's what I think I would say. Be kind to yourself because you're more valuable than you think, and you'll be amazed about what you will accomplish down the line.
Wow, what terrific advice. Be kind to yourself as you're more valuable than you think. You know, those are some terrific words, you know, with the rest of our day or whatever we're going to be doing. But let me ask you this, Valentin. Again, I love those words. If someone wants to reach you online, they have a question, they want to become a customer, or they want to really feel their way around some things and see where that can take them, where's the best place online that they can find you?
Yeah, I'm always posting on LinkedIn. I have a weekly newsletter that I'm stubborn to write every day, despite the fact that I need to inspire my 40-so colleagues right now. Find me on LinkedIn. If I could be of help, I'd love to help you out. I've been helped by so many entrepreneurs. And I think what you're doing, Jeffrey, by the way, is amazing because you are spreading this knowledge to the world. And I think that's a terrific mission that you're onto.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. And thank you for your mission and what you're doing. Well, Valentin, it's official. This is a wrap, as we love to say here at Deep Wealth. May you continue to thrive and prosper while you remain healthy and safe. Thank you so much.
Thanks as well, Jeffrey, and thanks everyone for listening.
The Deep Wealth experience was definitely a game changer for me.
This course is one of the best investments you will ever make because you will get an ROI of 100 times that. Anybody who doesn't go through it will lose millions.
If you don't have time for this program, you'll never have time for a successful liquidity.
I mean, it was the best value of any business course I've ever taken. The money was very well spent.
Compared to when we first began, today I feel better prepared, but in some respects, maybe less prepared, not because of the course, but because the course brought to light so many things that I thought we were on top of that we need to fix.
I 100% believe there's never a great time for a business owner to allocate extra hours into his or her week or day. So it's an investment that will yield results today. I thought I will reap the benefit of this program in 3 to 5 years down the road. But as soon as I stepped forward into the program, my mind changed immediately.
There was so much value in the experience that the time I invested paid back so much for the energy that was expended.
The Deep Wealth experience compared to other programs is the top. What we learned is very practical. Sometimes you learn stuff that is great to learn, but you never use it. The stuff we learned from Deep Wealth experience, I believe is going to benefit us both.
I've done an executive MBA. I've worked for billion-dollar companies before. I've worked for smaller companies before I started my business. I've been running my business successfully now for getting close to a decade. We're on a growth trajectory. Reflecting back on the Deep Wealth, I knew less than 10% what I know now. Maybe close to 1% even.
Hands down the best program in which I've ever participated. And we've done a lot of different things over the years. We've been in other mastermind groups, gone to many seminars, workshops, conferences, retreats, read books. This was so different. I haven't had an experience that's anything close to this in all the years that we've been at this. It's 5-star, A+.
I would highly recommend it to any super busy business owner out there. And Deep Wealth is an accurate name for it. This program leads to deeper wealth and happier wealth, not just deeper wealth. I don't think there's a dollar value that could be associated with such an experience and knowledge that could be applied today and forever.
Are you leaving millions on the table? Please visit www.deepwealth.com/success to learn more. If you're not on my email list, you'll want to be. Sign up at www.deepwealth.com/podcast. And if you enjoyed this episode, if it added value, if you walked away with some new insights and strategies, please leave a review on your favorite podcast channel. Reviews help us reach new listeners, grow the show, and continue to create content that you'll enjoy. And as we wrap up this episode, as always, please stay healthy and safe.